Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 11th Lebanon Board City Council meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mike Kincaid.
Present.
Keith Campbell.
Here.
Morris Jones.
Here.
Dick Robertson.
Here.
John Copeland is absent this evening. Brent Wheat.
Present.
Sierra Messenger.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll move on to the roll call members, approval of the minutes. Sorry, long day today for me.
I know.
We have the September, three of them tonight, sorry, okay. We have three sets of minutes. First will be August 22nd. Are there any changes to those minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes for August 22nd.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second from Keith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. All right, next would be November 12th. Any? September 12th. Any motions on those?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
September 12th.
Motion from Mike, second from Keith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Is approved. All right, get this one right. September 26th now. Any changes to those?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of September 26th.
We have a
I'll
motion to
second it.
approve and a second from Keith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Thank you, council. All right, next will be old business. Is there anything from the council on old business? There's nothing on my agenda.
No, sir, not for me.
Okay. Next will be new business then. First item up is a food and beverage request from the Witham YMCA. We have Madison Portish with us here tonight.
Alrighty, I've got little packets for all of you.
You can just give it to Keith and he can pass it down for it. Yep, sure.
Thanks, sir.
I think we can pass one out.
Alrighty, so in the packets that you will all be receiving here shortly, the first page is just kind of an overview of what we've got. And the last 3 pages, the full page there is what our flyer looks like. The third page there is 2 copies of the postcard that's going out this week. It's actually already been put in the mail. And then the last page there are just photos from last year's event and some marketing materials that we've used. So the reason why I'm here, we are seeking funds for the Witham YMCA to provide a veterans drive-through event. In years past, the Witham YMCA has offered a meal to veterans in our community. It's been in-house at the YMCA, and then COVID hit and we had to cancel for 2020. Last year in 2021, we did a drive-through in the park here in town, and it was awesome. It kind of kept everybody moving. We were able to serve over 50 meals in the park, and then leftover meals we took to community homes here in town, retirement homes. Crown Point was one of them. So we took those extra meals. Nothing went to waste. We were able to repurpose those and make sure that veterans were fed on Veterans Day. We actually do it the day before Veterans Day because they get a lot of meals throughout that day. So we did it a day early, and we're doing it a day early this year as well. So this year we're shooting for November 10th from 11 to 12. Last year we were in a different part of the park, but we'll be at the Lebanon Park near the bandstand, just behind there so we can be seen from 39. And our goal is to provide warm box lunches for veterans in our community. So some of the marketing things, advertising the event on our website and Facebook. Those flyers attached are flyers that have already started going out. The postcards have already been mailed out. I believe we mailed out 75 postcards to veterans in our community, veterans that have been invited and have come to prior events in the past. So, just making sure we're reaching back out to those same people and making sure we get them fed on Veterans Day. We'd also like to run a few ads with Radio Mom, one in the Lebanon Reporter, and then it's already gone out in our monthly newsletter for October as well. So, again, in the park, it's a drive-through, just with COVID still, wanting to kind of keep people moving, serve as many meals as possible, but it being in the park, they have the opportunity to, hopefully the weather's nice, they can stop and eat in the park, they can use the picnic tables and things like that that are available. Depending on funding, these are some of the restaurants and meal proposals that we've discussed, just depending on what we're able to provide based on funding there. So we're hoping for a chicken, macaroni and cheese, a side with a vegetable and a roll. That's pretty similar to what we were able to hand out last year. And they're pretty decent sized portions. We had a lot of people say, this will be my lunch and dinner. So it's a pretty hearty meal that we're able to give out. This year, we've also contacted Lebanon High School's band director to see if we could get the band out there to play music, just as kind of an added plus for people driving through. We've reached out to the National Guard to see if they could get any tanks or machinery out there, just as kind of an added touch to draw attention to the park and get more people out there. So, and then we've also reached out to Operation Gratitude to send some goodie bags. They send lots of neat items in a bag, so we're able to hand out things as well as the meal. So. That is what we're hoping for. We're estimating about $13 a meal, hoping to kind of double what we did last year. About 100 veterans we're hoping to serve, and then an additional $200 in marketing and flyers and postcards, things like the Radio Mom ad, stuff like that. So that is what we are asking for. Thank you so
Okay.
much for considering that.
Brent or Sierra, did you meet with the Food and Beverage Committee?
Yes, the Food and Beverage Committee met with representatives from the Witham YMCA on September 28th and heard a presentation. We discussed it. Again, their budget, they're looking to serve about 100 veterans at approximately $13 a meal, and then looking for about $200 in marketing funds. So we felt like this was a nice, locally grown, homegrown kind of project that supports the community, and the money basically comes right back to the community also. So we made a recommendation for the full council of donating $1,500 from Food and Beverage.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Madison from the council? Okay, I would entertain a motion then concerning the $1,500 request from the Food and Beverage Fund for the Witham Family YMCA Veterans Drive-Thru event.
I make a motion, we approve the $1,500 request for the Witham Family YMCA Veterans Day drive-through for $1,500 beverage. Sorry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That is
so
approved.
much.
Congratulations. And thank you for all you do for the community with that. Okay, next up, Ordinance 2022-28, Council to consider appropriations and tax rates, AKA the city 2023 budget. So Tanya, you want to take this up?
Sure.
The only ordinance we legally have to pass every year.
Yes, please. I'll start out, be it ordained by the City of Lebanon that for expenses of the Lebanon Civil City for the year ending December 31st, 2023, the sums hereby appropriated and set apart out of several funds herein named for the purposes specified, subject to the laws governing the same. Such sums herein appropriated shall be held to include all expenditures authorized to be made during the year unless otherwise expressly stipulated and provided for by law. In addition, property tax rates are herein specified and included herein. Budget Form 4B, which is what I'm reading off of, for all funds must be completed and submitted in the manner prescribed by the Department of Local Government Finance. And again, this is Ordinance 2022-28. And I'll now read off the funds and give you the total at the end. So Casino Riverboat is $93,000. The general fund is $13,579,723. Debt service is $141,747. Bond number 211,891. Bond number 3 is $369,878. Fire pension, $312,604. Police pension, $222,390. Local road and street is $298,822. Motor vehicle highway is $1,373,119. Park and Recreation is $1,622,940. Park bonds, $380,031. CCI, which is cumulative capital improvement, is $31,000. Cumulative capital development is $100,000. The stormwater bond is $501,832, and sanitation is $1,109,000. We have three funds that are not generated by DLGF, but we put them on here anyway. Food and beverage is $500,000. We have public safety lit for police and fire, which is $3,704,419. And the American Rescue Plan funds for 2023 is $1,820,383, for a total of $26,372,779. And that's the first reading, and we'll bring that back on the 24th? Yes,
Yeah, 24th,
24th
yep.
for second reading.
Okay. Thank you, Tanya. And so I will likely not be here on the 24th due to the birth of my child, so I just want to take a moment to comment. Really appreciated the collaborative spirit we all had this year with the budget. I think we're making strong investments in public safety, employee retention, but also continue to make investments in our physical infrastructure as well around the city. So I appreciate everyone coming together in a spirit of collaboration and really, I think, crafting a budget that will fund our priorities, but then also make sure we're being responsible taxpayer dollars as well, and actually we'll end up reducing the tax rate for the citizens of Lebanon as well too. So again, appreciate the spirit of collaboration we have here in Lebanon. So any other comments from the council on ordinance 2022-28? Okay. Next will be ordinance 2022-29, fixing the salaries of certain City of Lebanon employees. This is on first reading.
Right. And Section 1, be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lebanon, 2/3 of its members being present and concurring therein. The following statement of salaries is the base pay for positions listed. Full-time employees of the City of Lebanon receive longevity pay at the rate of $75 per year per each year of service. Longevity pay begins after the first full year of service and does not include the current year of service when calculating the amount for each employee. Public safety longevity schedule is .0075 of a first-class patrolman salary and shall be capped at 20 years of service. All first-class patrolmen with 5 years of service or less will remain on the civilian longevity schedule until after their 6th year of service. That if an employee transfers to a vacated position, the amount of the salary would be no more than the amount listed in said ordinance, plus the longevity of the employee transferring to said vacancy. The following are the salaries beginning January 1st, 2023. I'm going to read them by department instead of by person. So for motor vehicle, it's $541,428. Parks Department is $884,481. On these two departments, the above rates apply to a 35 to 40-hour work week, which I believe all of these are 40. However, when extreme emergencies arise requiring the above-named employees to work more than 40 hours per week as intended, they shall be compensated according to Federal Labor Standards Act and city's overtime policy. This section shall not apply to department heads. Then we move on to the Planning Department. It's $495,611. Historic Commission, there's 2 part-time employees for $6,000. Police Department is $2,710,815. Fire Department is $2,074,584. Clerk Treasurer's Office is $124,865. Mayor's Office is $50,758. Community development is $73,397. Engineering, $83,225. We also have the local income tax public safety for the fire department. That's $1,128,899. And same local income tax for the police is $764,215. The salaries of the following board members shall be paid. For the Board of Works, we have 2 members. They receive $75 for 24 meetings. They meet twice a month. And so for both of those, it's $3,600. The annual salaries of the following board members shall be: for the City Plan Commission, there are 8 members at $100 a meeting. 1 meeting a month is $9,600. Board of Zoning Appeals, there's 5 members at $100 a month. For their meeting is $6,000 a year. Park Board, 6 members, $50 a meeting, 1 meeting a month for $3,600 a year. Plan Commission, Zoning, and Park Board members are only compensated for their regularly scheduled meetings they attend. That ends the salaries.
Okay. Ordinance 2022-29 has been read on first reading. We'll take that up at our next meeting, October 24th. Next is Ordinance 2022-30, fixing the salaries of elected officials for the City of Lebanon. This is also on first reading.
Be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lebanon, Indiana, 2/3 of its members being present and concurring therein. Maximum salaries of the following elected officials of the City of Lebanon beginning January 1st, 2023 are as follows. Mayor, $57,978. Clerk Treasurer, $61,934. Common Council, there are 6 members at $10,000 each, and the president is at $11,000 each. There's one, only for one, and that's $71,000. In addition to funds paid by the civil city set out in Section 2, the municipal utilities pay is as follows. Mayor, $30,090. Clerk Treasurer, $17,204. And Deputy Clerk Treasurer, $26,952.
Okay. Ordinance has been read on first reading. Again, we'll take that up at our next meeting on October 24th. Any comments on that, front council, on those ordinances? Just make sure there was any. Okay. Next up then is Ordinance 2022-31. This is a ordinance of the Common Council concerning an amendment to Chapter 35 of our city code, which is the Ordinance Violations Bureau. Just to give the council and the public a little bit of background on this, this essentially is an outgrowth of an issue we've been running into since the city court was abolished. This is a different, essentially, this empowers the clerk treasurer's office under the creation of an update of the Ordinance Violations Bureau. As part of our research, we actually found that the city established an Ordinance Violations Bureau back in 1981 in Ordinance 81-21. So really, this is just updating that to allow the, oversight and more, quicker processing of any issues we have for minor ordinance violations, such as what's considered in this ordinance is for parking issues. This is for golf cart violations and as well as fireworks violations. So right now, we kind of run into a little bit of a situation where some of these ordinances can't be enforced because there's no city court process that we have. So really, this is instead of having it go through city court, this allows the process under the Ordinance Violations Bureau, which gives people the process to appeal that through the clerk treasurer's office, and essentially empowers Tanya and her office to be the adjudicators of these kind of minor infractions throughout the city. So with that, I'll have Rob read it, and then we can kind of have some discussion about it, or if there's any concerns. But also, going forward, this is a framework that allows us to start implementing some of these maybe called minor infractions, and if we want to do more with this, we can maybe start shifting some of these penalty clauses to under the Ordinance Violations Bureau, while we're kind of waiting for the city court to start getting restarted, as we start addressing that kind of going forward this year, and then also into 2024, once it's really fully established again. So, Rob, if you mind? Yep.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Ordinance 2022-31 concerns an amendment to the Ordinance Violations Bureau within the city. Whereas it's in the duty and the responsibility of the council to maintain public order and safety of the city. Whereas pursuant to Indiana Code, there's permitted the establishment of an Ordinance Violations Bureau. The council previously established an Ordinance Violation Bureau within the adoption of Ordinance 81-21 on November 23rd, 1981. Whereas it is deemed necessary to amend Chapter 35 of the Lebanon City Code to clarify and optimize the collection of fines and fees by the Ordinance Violations Bureau. Now therefore, the foregoing recitals are incorporated by reference. As of the effective date of the ordinance, Chapter 35 of the City Code shall be amended in accordance with Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein. The remaining portions of Chapter 35 are not affected by this ordinance and shall remain in full force and effect. As of the effective date of this ordinance, further, Chapter 72, 75, and 103 of the City Code of Ordinances shall be amended in accordance with attached Exhibit B. All prior ordinances that are inconsistent with any provision of this ordinance are hereby rescinded. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its adoption.
Okay, thank you, Rob. At this time, open to any questions council may have, concerns. Exhibit A, goes through the fee schedule here. Or excuse me, Exhibit A it does. As you can see, first occurrence of a parking violation is, $25, second occurrence is $50, third or subsequent again is $50. Golf carts, and this is what the code says now, is $50 for a first violation, $100 for a second, $100 for a third or subsequent, and also if you get 2 violations in a calendar year for a golf cart, you're actually suspended. The golf cart permit is suspended. And then Chapter 130, that's the fireworks. This one was kind of streamlined a little bit. There were a lot of levels, so it kind of simplifies it a little bit. 75 being the first occurrence, 150 the second, and then 300 for the third or subsequent occurrence violations of the fireworks ordinance. So again, the idea here was just to kind of streamline this in the absence of a city court, to provide some ability for us to enforce these ordinances with the police department, but then also make sure that the citizens have a process to appeal if they feel like they were improperly cited for these. It gives them that process. So again, that's the whole idea behind this ordinance. And again, we're just using a structure with the Ordinance Violations Bureau that was established back in 1981. So any questions from council on this?
I have a question.
Okay.
What about for people with golf carts that don't have a license on them?
So that's that's a violation that they have.
I know that, but I'm saying, the police can stop them for that?
Yeah, so now, if this is adopted, right, that would allow because what would happen now, right, essentially is they would probably get a warning, right, because they can't necessarily write them a ticket, because they would have to write them a ticket to city court, because they're not necessarily violating a state law, because, the golf cart's a local control issue, right? So
Right.
we have to, whenever there's an issue of a local ordinance being violated, it either has to be prosecuted by the Ordinance Violations Bureau or city court, right?
Right.
So we kind of needed to kind of restructure this a little bit. So, yeah, so if you don't have a golf cart permit and now the police pull you over, they see that you have a permit or your permit's overdue or whatever, they could then write you a $50, for your first offense violation
Right.
of this, and it would go to Tanya's office.
That's what I wondered,
And then, and then if you wanted to appeal that, you could through that process, but,
And how about having 2-month, 3-month babies that's sitting in the front seat?
any violation of the Chapter 75, which is the golf cart ordinance, that now can be applied under this Ordinance Violations Bureau. So any that allows us enforcement of that.
Then also, I guess, where will the people get to take a look at the ordinance?
It's available online. They do get a copy of the golf cart when they register for it, but
I know when you
also,
register, but
but our ordinances are available online too with
Okay,
American
good.
Legal. So those are all posted and people can read it, so.
that way they need to know what it says.
They, especially on the golf cart, they know, because when they
Yeah.
sign up for it,
Yeah, if they will take it. I mean, for those people who've had a golf cart year after year after year.
I understand
if we
that.
hand out the ordinance, they're like, I've seen it, and we're like, okay. So those that are new, we ask and to take it and read over it, so.
any other, oh, good, Mike.
Establish the parking meter person?
To be determined. But theoretically, now that we have this in place, we do have a proper process to enforce the parking tickets if we choose to do so. They're currently on the
Wait till
books.
the court system gets set up.
It can be a discussion we can have with council, but, I mean, I will say I haven't heard too many complaints right now, so at some level, it's kind of one of those things, you know, if business owners were complaining about it. I do think with the creation of the new parking lot downtown, that's helped a lot with some of the concern we've had with, you know, people trying to find spots, things like that. We haven't really heard many complaints about it since then, so. But again, it gives us that avenue if we, you know, again, it's on the books, the ordinances can be enforced, but this makes sure that it gives us the ability to enforce them without taking it, without a city court essentially, so. Any other questions? Anything else council wants to add to this ordinance from a items?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Well, great. Ordinance 2022-31 has been read on first reading. We'll take that up at our next meeting, which is October 24th. Okay, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from council?
No, sir.
Any general public comment? Okay. This time then, I would entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Move to pay the claims.
We have a motion to pay the claims. Is there a second? Second. Second from Morse. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion?
No, sir. Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Sierra. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next city council meeting is set for Monday, October 24th at 7:15 PM. Have a great evening.